Hello, Knicks fans.
What a messy game.
Ah,
This is the first game we went to for the season because we missed game one. Went to see the Atlanta Hawks play. You know, we knew Trae Young was going to be out there doing his thing.
no, he wasn't.
Randle knocked him out, so he had to come back with some goggles on. I was surprised he didn't come out with a mouth guard on too. We had an incredible first quarter. What did we score? 32 points and they scored 21. Second quarter, we scored 33 and they scored 36.
And just to say, halfway through the second, things were great. Because the 36 they scored was their late run.
That was their
what
late
was the
run.
score? We were up by 23 points at one point.
We were up by 23 points. Do you want to know what we scored in the third quarter? I want to tell you all that it was 6. It was actually 10. The reason I want to say 6 is because at 3 minutes left in the third quarter, or 2 minutes left in the third quarter, we had only scored 6 points. That is ridiculous on our home court against one of our rivals, the Atlanta Hawks. I'm done. I was so upset tonight. So upset.
It's again us dropping these leads against teams that we play well against initially. You know, we feared it. You know, I'm looking at the score. We both mentioned it. I don't even think it's like some unique, incredible analysis at this point that when the Knicks are up early, the teams that we're playing know, hey, you know what?
Let them get their shine. Yeah, it's all good.
We're gonna lock up.
You're not going to keep this up.
Exactly. And it happened yet again. We were at that horrible Brooklyn game last year when it was the most egregious example of that. And tonight, the Hawks run us off the court. DeJounte Murray, someone we could have traded for. We're going to get into a little bit of that talk soon. But the Knicks just failed to execute yet again. We were playing good basketball. Thibs, a lot of this is coming down on Thibs. And we're going to get into some deeper questions about Thibs.
So I think let's not even talk about the game. It was so disappointing. Let's actually talk about where,
Yeah.
let's talk
Let's
about
go.
where we kind of are right now in this season.
Yeah.
So we're only, 7 games in, right? So
Right.
it's a small
sample size
of what the entire season is going to be. We also have just played some elite teams, and we will be continuing to play some elite teams because we're playing the 76ers on Friday, and then we play Boston on Saturday. So we're playing these teams that were in the playoffs last year. We knew that we were going to go on this run. However, it just seems like, I don't know, man. Like, so Randle, we're back to him again, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like maybe, yes, he was supposed to have gotten traded, but it would have been so difficult to do it, as you just explained to me, because that season, that one season, the pandemic season, if you will, that he had this incredible game and came out and people were looking at him like, oh my God, who is a superstar? There were no fans around. I think he was much more relaxed playing in that environment. And really, he was supposed to keep that up. He didn't play like that the following year.
No, it was horrible last year. And then,
now, I don't know where he stands now. And then, what are we doing with Obi? Like, Obi is the most exciting player on the team.
Hands
to
down.
watch, right? He's not getting the minutes. He's obviously not playing he's not on the starting lineup because I don't think he's ready to really play on the starting lineup against other teams' starting lineups. He plays great with our bench guys, which is fine, but he was a high pick. And he plays Randle's position. So what's the point of keeping 2 of them on the roster?
Well, this has been an ongoing debate for years, right? Randle has that year during the pandemic, and Leon Rose coming in that year, he's just not going to trade Randle in the middle of we here and all the excitement in the city, especially during COVID when New York City was hurting so bad. I want to be a realist and say, or I want to be like a ruthless NBA GM and say, oh yeah, you make the trade, you sell high on Randle. But the truth is, these are humans, there are emotions involved. That wasn't going to happen that way. But at this point, right, this summer comes, we have options and opportunities to make trades, get some big guys in here. And we don't do it. And I personally wasn't, too upset. I was excited by the prospect of Donovan Mitchell. As we were getting closer and closer, I told you, I'm like, it's going to happen.
And I said it wasn't.
You said it wasn't. And I really felt, I'm like, okay, they're going to eventually just give up, what it is to get Donovan. The whole point of this whole thing that Leon Rose has been doing is his connections as an agent, right? He's supposed to be able to get guys here. CAA, Donovan Mitchell is CAA, wants to come to New York. And my thing with all this was, okay, if you don't get Donovan Mitchell, if you decided that the assets that we have are too important or have too much potential,
Right.
or you don't want to lose a trade. And I get it. The Knicks have lost many trades in the past. We're the ones that usually say, "Hey, what do you want? Come take it.
Right.
Come take the cupboard. Take everything you need." We didn't want to do that this time, but you do that with the hope and the not just the hope, but the vision that these players that we have on the team are going to make us step forward.
Are going to step up.
And clearly prove to you, because these are young guys, they're improving. NBA players improve mostly during the summer.
Right.
In the season, you can't really improve. You're playing games.
Right.
The summer is really where you make that jump. And what was supposed to happen, and I can't say this thing, I don't want to make these big proclamations
Because things could change in the next few games.
It's 7 games, right? Yeah, I know people in the comments are going to be like, we just saw you guys going crazy the past few games, but that's Knicks fans, right? I think sometimes these games kind of make you take stock on things as a whole. And when you see the same mistakes happening, it does go back to coaching eventually. Because if guys are going out there and we're still playing bad lineups at times, we're still not pulling guys when we need to, we're still seeing players that should be playing more and not playing, we're still making the same mistakes despite getting a point guard.
So do you feel, despite getting a point guard?
That's what I'm saying. So, that was a big thing. We got a point guard, and even tonight, Brunson
scored 20 points. Five assists and 1 rebound.
Right. So not like he didn't have the best of games. The stats look a little bit better than his game, but you still have a competent point guard out there now. So it just feels like the Knicks are the Knicks have to make a trade. They have too many players. We have so many. I think we have so many B guys. We have so many guys. Like our whole roster
feels. That seems to always be the case, though.
We've had C guys. No, I'm saying.
No, I thought you were going to go up with the letter grade. Okay, no, that I hear you. I thought you were about to say that we've had A guys.
We had a couple.
What I'm saying is that other teams seem to have these like elite players.
Right.
And we don't.
You got to commit to a vision to get an elite player. An elite player means sacrifices, right? Is that trading X number of guys? Is that actually tanking for real? Right? When really tanking. Just to give an example, Dallas, when they didn't have a great season, they wanted Luka Doncic. They decided, let's give up 2 first picks. We're gonna give up our pick and get Luka because we think he's worth it, and clearly it's working out for them, right?
It's always still a gamble, though.
It is a gamble.
Either way, it's still a gamble.
It is a gamble, but just to go back to my point, with Leon and Thibs and kind of this whole regime, I think for us as Knicks fans, I won't say exciting, but it's been good to see some level of competency.
It's been good to see, I think, some cohesiveness. It's good to see, people talk about Leon not wanting to talk to the fans, and maybe he's doing the right thing. He doesn't want to deal with all of that, right? He doesn't want to deal with all that back and forth. He's doing his job in the cut, and he's taking care of what he needs to take care of. Or is he? Because now, here we are. What year is this that Thibs is in with us?
I keep
we didn't know if it's 3 or 4. You guys can tell us. We don't know if it's 3 or 4. So we like Tom Thibodeau. He came to the team. I think he gave us some really good structure, some really good sort of organization within the team. And he got us to a certain place, but maybe now we need that next level coach, because we were so bad for such a long time. We didn't have any of that kind of structure that we needed. Yep. So now that we have it, Thibs does have an old school style.
He's 64.
Of coaching the game.
Yep.
We know he likes defense, so we know he likes his players that play really good defense, which is fine. But maybe it's time for that next level.
Well, look, it's something we've all been feeling. We want to give the benefit of the doubt. We got to give more games. We got to get to game 20, right? I'm not saying to go crazy yet, but there are some glaring things on this team. I do not hate Evan Fournier. I think he's a cool guy.
But he could get traded.
He's making $18 million a year. He had 3 points tonight, and his defense is not good. Now, Quentin Grimes, thankfully, is now back. He needs an expanded role ASAP. Our defense in the backcourt needs help. Jalen Brunson really tries. He takes charges. He puts a lot of effort out there. But at the 2-guard spot, you're just not getting the point of attack defense you need. So Grimes can come in. But you look at the team and you look at the construction, a lot of these guys that are here now, this is what they wanted. They drafted IQ at Obi, right? They paid Randle. They just paid RJ.
Right.
They paid Mitch. They paid Hartenstein.
They paid Brunson.
Right? They paid Brunson. And I'm not saying, look, I love what iHeart is bringing. I love Jalen Brunson. I think it's a great long-term guy for us, right? No matter what happens with this regime, if we pick it up and do well or don't, I can see Brunson being a nice core fundamental piece for us. But I don't know. It's at the point where it's this roster feels to me like we have almost too many players that need to play, right? Like, even if you go down to the reserves, you got guys like, what's his name? I couldn't say. Miles McBride, who's an incredible defender. We saw him in the G League last year playing really well. We saw him even in preseason showing what he can do. And I'm like, does Miles need minutes, right? And Quentin's not even getting minutes now. The only reason, because he was injured. And Cam is only getting minutes because of this. So I'm like, you look at guys like, unfortunately, I gotta say it, Fournier and Randle, and you're like, listen, if we're gonna lose these games anyway, what if you don't have those guys on the team and you're dealing with Obi?
Lose and let us play those guys.
Right. And like I said, this is like it's early in the season. This is just us being emotional after a loss.
And after driving to the city and driving back home, yes, we're tired and we're angry, and you can tell, I think, from what we have to say.
It's disappointing. We're gonna have to give it more time, right? These guys, Quickly was great tonight. Quickly's been so good the past few games. To be honest, right now Quickly's playing like he deserves to start next to Brunson. It should be Quickly and Brunson is how Quickly's playing right now.
Okay.
So it's not all doom and gloom. But I just feel like, and I think this is where we're at again, the Knicks got to make decisions as a franchise. Like, where are you going? You know what I mean? What's the plan, right? Teams that get superstars, they tank or they make a trade, but they put that bet forward, right? We had a chance this summer to put a bet forward. We didn't really make the aggressive move. Instead, we're banking on what we have here. But this team has been together for a little bit now,
which I like. Which, by the way,
what parts of it I like?
But by the way, I like that because I do like when the team stays together and they don't keep splitting up the team and splitting up the team. But clearly, we need an extra piece or another piece. So a trade.
Yeah, it's. I think the thing is, and maybe in the comments you guys will say, you guys switched up. This was so early, but I kind of feel like this is gonna be inevitable. Even if we play a little bit better, if things start working, I mean, my goal this season, honestly, is if Randall's playing well, that we're trading him, that we're doing what we couldn't do during the pandemic year. Nothing against Julius Randle. I just don't know if he's the guy for us, number one. We have Obi. I just don't see I don't see the version of this team where Randle is playing so well and we're winning games and we're in the playoffs. I just don't see it. So how long is it going to go on for before we decide to make a decision? Right. So I don't know. Yeah, that sums it up. That sums it up,
guys. I'm not sure what game you're thinking we're going to have our next win, but I can't see here.
Detroit Pistons. I know it's going to be the Pistons game.
I really can't see. So we play the Pistons.
Look, we got Philly, Boston, Minnesota, Brooklyn.
On. Yeah, so are we losing all of those games? Is that what you're saying?
Well, look, we had the 7-8 game stretch that we spoke about, and I was hoping for 4-4.
And the team and the team that plays in Brooklyn, are we gonna also lose against?
I mean, at this point, anything can happen, but we'll see. Hopefully, bad night we can fix it. But how many of these bad? We've seen this game. That's a problem, We've seen this game so many times.
Yeah.
This game tonight was not. We saw it last year.
It felt very predictable.
Very predictable, and that's a shame. And
Anyway, peace out.
All right, guys, peace.